The city was alive. Cars honking, people shouting, footsteps echoing across the pavement. It was a bright afternoon, but in one forgotten corner of the busy street, an old man sat silently near the entrance of a small bakery. His clothes were torn, faded from both time and dust. His hands were thin, trembling slightly as he held an empty paper cup. People passed by him. Some glanced for a second, others looked away as if he didn't exist. The smell of fresh bread and warm pastries filled the air. The man lifted his head slightly, staring through the bakery window. Inside, children laughed as they pointed at cakes. The old man's eyes were tired, yet there was something deep in them, a quiet hunger not just for food, but for kindness. The camera slowly pans across the street. A gentle wind blows, carrying dry leaves past his feet. That's when a little girl named Lily appeared, walking beside her mother. She was 8 years old, small, bright-eyed, wearing a pink school uniform and carrying a yellow lunchbox. Her shoes made light tapping sounds on the pavement as she tried to keep up with her mother's fast steps. Mother hurriedly, "Come on, Lily, we're getting late." Lily softly, "Okay, Mom." As they passed the bakery, Lily slowed down. Her steps grew smaller. Her eyes had caught something her mother didn't notice. The old man sitting on the cold ground staring at a loaf of bread behind the glass. He wasn't begging. He just looked. His expression was full of silent pain. Lily stopped walking completely. Her little hand tightened around the lunchbox. Lily whispers, "Mom." He looks hungry. Her mother turned back for a second, frowning slightly. Mother, in a rushed tone, "Don't look, Lily, let's go. There are many people like him." Lily didn't move. She kept staring. A small moment of silence, just the sound of wind and passing cars. Her mother sighed and walked ahead. But Lily's eyes didn't leave the man. She could see how his lips trembled as if he was whispering something to himself. She slowly opened her lunchbox. Inside was her favorite, a soft peanut butter sandwich neatly wrapped by her mother that morning. She looked at it for a few seconds, then back at the man. Her little heart felt heavy. Lily whispers to herself, "He's hungry. I should share." Her mother's voice called again from a distance. Mother firmly, "Lily, come on, we're late." Lily looked back at her mother, then at the old man again. Her eyes softened. She took a small step forward, then another. The camera follows her tiny footsteps on the pavement, the sound of her shoes mixing with the city noise. She stops in front of the old man. For a moment, neither speaks. The man looks up, confused. His face is tired, his beard gray and uneven. Lily hesitates, holding her sandwich tightly. Lily, quietly, "Sir, are you hungry?" The old man blinks, surprised. It had been a long time since anyone spoke to him kindly. His lips move slowly, voice weak. "Old man, I haven't eaten since yesterday." Lily looks down at her sandwich, then gently opens the box. She tears it in half, her small hands trembling slightly. Lily, smiling, "Here, you can have this half." For a second, the old man doesn't move. His eyes glisten with tears. He looks at her as if he's seeing something unbelievable. Kindness after a lifetime of being invisible. He slowly reaches out with shaking hands, taking the piece of sandwich. Old man softly, "Thank you, little angel." The camera zooms in. A single tear rolls down his wrinkled cheek. His voice cracks, full of emotion. Old man murmuring, "You remind me of someone." "Long ago?" Lily tilts her head, curious. Lily, "Who?" Old man smiles faintly. "Someone I lost." A brief silence fills the space. People walk around them, not noticing the moment that's quietly changing two lives. Lily smiles again, placing the lunchbox back in her bag. "Lily, you don't have to be sad, sir. My mom says God helps good people." The old man's lips tremble into a faint smile. Old man, "Then maybe God sent you to remind me." Behind them, Lily's mother finally notices. She walks back quickly, her voice filled with worry. "Mother, Lily, you can't just walk off like that." Lily turns to her mother, guilt in her eyes. "Lily, I'm sorry, Mom." But he was hungry. The mother glances at the old man. For a moment, she doesn't speak. She sees the half sandwich in his hand, and the warmth in his eyes. Something about that scene softens her heart. She sighs deeply. Mother, quietly, "All right, Lily, let's go." Lily nods, giving the old man one last smile. Lily, softly. Bye, sir. Old man. Goodbye, little angel. As she walks away, the old man takes a slow bite of the sandwich. His eyes fill with tears again. He looks up at the cloudy sky. Old man whispering, maybe. There's still hope in this world. The camera lingers on his face. Soft music begins to play. The sunlight breaks through the clouds, falling gently over him, making his silver hair glow faintly. Across the street, Lily looks back one last time. For a split second, their eyes meet. The old man smiles with gratitude, and she smiles back with innocence. The frame freezes on that moment, her small act of kindness shining bright in a dull, gray world. Then slowly, the image fades to black. Sometimes, one small act can change everything. It had been 2 days since Lily shared her sandwich with the old man near the bakery, but for some reason she couldn't stop thinking about him. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw his gentle smile. Those tired eyes filled with tears. The way he called her little angel. Her small heart felt something strange and a mix of sadness and curiosity. She wanted to know if he was okay, if he had food now, or if he was still sitting alone in that cold corner. Sunlight slipped through the curtains, painting the walls in soft gold. Lily sat on her bed, quietly tying her shoelaces. Her mother was busy packing her school bag. Mother. Hurry, Lily, you'll be late again. Lily. Mom. Can we go by the bakery today? Her mother paused, surprised. Mother, why? We usually take the short route. Lily looked down, fiddling with her fingers. Lily, I just want to see something. Her mother sighed. She didn't want to argue this early in the morning, so she nodded. Mother. All right, but don't waste time. Lily smiled softly, relieved. She quickly grabbed her lunchbox and ran to the door. The road was busy again. Cars honking, vendors shouting, people hurrying like always. But Lily's eyes searched only one thing, the bakery door. As they reached the spot, she stopped walking. The place where the old man had sat was empty. Her little heart sank. There was no torn blanket, no paper cup, nothing but a few dry leaves blowing across the sidewalk. Lily whispers, he's gone. She looked around, hoping to see him nearby, maybe talking to someone, maybe eating something. But he wasn't there. Her mother placed a hand on her shoulder. Mother, softly. Lily, people like him. They don't stay in one place for long. Lily. But he said he was hungry. What if he didn't get any food? Her mother didn't reply. She just gave a weak smile. Mother, come on, sweetheart. Let's go. They started walking again, but as they moved, something shiny caught Lily's eye. A small, folded piece of paper on the ground lying exactly where the old man used to sit. She stopped again. Lily, Mom, wait. She bent down and picked it up. The paper was old, a bit dirty, but folded neatly. Inside, written in shaky handwriting, were just a few words. Thank you for reminding me that kindness still exists. You'll understand soon. Lily stared at the note, reading it again and again. Lily, thinking, you'll understand soon. What does that mean? Her mother leaned over her shoulder, reading it too. Mother, quietly. Maybe he just wanted to thank you. But Lily shook her head slowly. Lily, no. It feels like he wanted to tell me something more. Her mother smiled softly, not taking it too seriously. Mother, come on, detective. Time for school. Lily tucked the note carefully inside her lunchbox, right next to her sandwich. She didn't know why, but she felt it was important. Like a secret message she wasn't meant to ignore. At lunchtime, Lily sat under the big tree in the schoolyard. Other kids were laughing, sharing snacks, chasing each other. But she sat quietly, staring at the folded note again. Her best friend Mia ran over holding chips. Mia. Lily, why are you so quiet today? Lily. I met someone last week. An old man. I gave him my sandwich. Mia, smiling. That's nice. Did he say thank you? Lily, yes. But he also left this note. It says, you'll understand soon. Mia frowned, curious. Mia, understand what? Lily, softly. I don't know. But I think I was supposed to find it, her friend giggled. Mia, maybe he's Santa Claus in disguise. Lily laughed a little, but her eyes stayed thoughtful. Deep inside, she felt that this wasn't just a coincidence. Something about the man, his voice, his eyes, that note. felt like a mystery waiting to unfold. That night, the sky was full of stars. Lily sat on her bed, holding the note under the dim yellow lamp. She traced the handwriting with her finger, shaky, old, but full of emotion. Lily thinking, he must have written this for me. But why? Her father entered the room smiling. Father, hey, champ. What are you reading? Lily. A note from a man I helped near the bakery. Her father raised his eyebrows, listening carefully as Lily explained everything. How she gave him food, how he disappeared, how she found the note. Her father's face softened with pride. You did something wonderful, Lily. Not everyone notices people like him. Lily. Dad, do you think I'll ever see him again? Father gently. If fate wants you to, you will. He kissed her forehead and turned off the light. Father, now sleep. Good deeds always come back in beautiful ways. Lily smiled faintly, hugging the note to her chest before closing her eyes. The next morning, Lily's father received a phone call during breakfast. He looked surprised as he listened. Father, a new investor wants to meet me today. He's funding a homeless shelter project. Mother, smiling. That's great news. Lily looked up, curious. Lily, a shelter? For people who don't have homes? Father, yes, exactly. It's a big project, and they said the investor will meet me near the old bakery this afternoon. Lily froze. Lily thinking, near the bakery? A strange feeling ran through her chest, like something inside her was whispering, it's him. Lily's father stood outside the bakery looking around. A black car stopped nearby. A man stepped out, tall, neat, wearing a gray suit. His hair was white, his face calm. He walked toward them slowly. Lily's father reached out his hand politely. Father, you must be Mr. Anderson, the new investor? The man smiled warmly. Old man, yes. We've met before. Well, at least one of us has. Lily's father looked confused, and then from behind him Lily peeked out. Her eyes widened. It was him, the same eyes, the same gentle smile. But now he looked completely different, clean, confident, alive. Lily whispers, Mom, it's the same man. The old man smiled at her. Old man softly. Hello again, little angel. Lily's mother covered her mouth in shock. Her father froze, not understanding what was happening. The man stepped closer, his voice warm but full of emotion. Old man, your daughter didn't just feed me that day. She reminded me that life is still worth living. Lily's eyes filled with tears. The note in her bag suddenly made sense. You'll understand soon. She finally understood. The camera zooms in on the old man's kind smile. The mysterious connection was no longer a mystery. It was destiny. The afternoon sun shone softly over the bakery street. Lily stood frozen, her small fingers clutching her mother's hand. In front of her was the same old man she had once fed. But he didn't look the same anymore. His hair was neatly combed, his clothes clean and elegant. His weak body now stood tall and confident. The tiredness from his eyes had been replaced by something else. Peace. For a moment, nobody spoke. The city sounds around them faded. Only the wind whispered between them. Finally, the man broke the silence. Old man, smiling softly. You must be Lily, the kind little girl who shared her sandwich with a stranger. Lily's mother looked at him, still shocked. Mother, I can't believe it's you. You looked so different that day. The man nodded slowly, his smile full of meaning. Old man, that day changed me more than you can imagine. He turned to Lily's father. Old man, I came here today because I want your company to help me build something. A place for people like me. People who have no home, no hope. Her father looked surprised. Father, you want to build a shelter? Old man, yes, I call it the Hope House. It will be a home for the forgotten. Lily's eyes brightened at the name. Lily, Hope House. That's beautiful. The man smiled gently at her words. They all sat at a corner table, the air filled with the smell of warm bread. The old man stirred his tea slowly, lost in thought. Father, you said you were on the streets. How did all this happen? The man placed his spoon down and looked out the window, where he once sat in hunger and loneliness. Old man, it's a long story. One I tried to forget, until your daughter reminded me of it. Lily leaned forward, listening closely. The man's voice grew soft, almost trembling. Old man, years ago I was an architect. I built tall buildings, beautiful homes, places full of laughter. I had everything, and a wife, a little daughter, a happy life. He paused, his eyes glistening. Old man, but one winter night a fire broke out in our house. I wasn't there. I came home too late. Lily's mother's eyes filled with tears. Old man, quietly. I lost them both that night. My wife, my daughter, gone. After that, I couldn't bear to go on. I sold everything, gave up my work, and walked away from the world. The room fell silent. Only the faint sound of the bakery clock ticked. Old man, I lived on the streets for years. I forgot what kindness felt like. People passed by every day. No one looked at me, no one cared. I thought the world had forgotten me. He turned his gaze to Lily. Old man, smiling sadly. Until that day, when a small girl with a pink bag stopped, looked at me, and shared her sandwich. Lily's mother wiped her tears. Mother, softly. That small act brought you back? Old man, yes, her kindness woke me up. I realized I still had a reason to live, not for what I lost, but for what I could still give. He smiled at Lily again. Old man, you reminded me of my own daughter. She used to share her food with everyone in school. When you handed me that sandwich, it was like seeing her again. Lily blinked, holding back her tears. Lily, I'm glad you're okay now, sir. Old man, thanks to you, little one. That note I left, I knew you'd find it. I wanted you to know that one good thing can change everything. The old man pulled out a file from his bag. Inside were drawings, beautiful sketches of a large, warm building with rooms, a dining area, and a small playground. Old man, this will be the Hope House. It'll give homeless people food, beds, and jobs to rebuild their lives. And I want your father's company to build it. Lily's father looked through the drawings, amazed by the detail. Tharshan, these designs are incredible. You still have the heart of an architect. The man chuckled softly. Old man, maybe kindness is the best architect of all. Lily's mother smiled. Mother, it's a beautiful dream, and you'll make it real. The man nodded, then looked at Lily again. Old man, you'll be our first guest at the opening ceremony, little angel. The Hope House will exist because of you. Lily blushed and smiled shyly. Lily, I didn't do much. Old man, oh, you did everything. Sometimes the smallest kindness saves a lost soul. Weeks passed. The construction site for the Hope House came alive. Workers building walls, trucks moving bricks, the sound of hammers echoing through the air. Lily's father managed the project. Every evening after school, Lily visited the site with her mother. She brought snacks for the workers, smiling and talking to everyone. She loved watching the building rise, piece by piece, from the ground. It was like watching hope take shape. The old man visited often too, though his steps were slower now. He always carried a notebook, sketching quietly, adding final touches. Sometimes he and Lily sat together, talking for hours. Lily, did your daughter like drawing too? Old man, smiling softly. She loved drawing houses. She said she wanted to build a big home for everyone. Lily, then you're building her dream now. The man's eyes glistened. Old man, yes, thanks to you. One afternoon, as Lily watched the workers, the old man gave her a small folded paper. Old man, this belonged to my daughter. I kept it all these years, and Lily opened it carefully. Inside was a child's drawing. A big, colorful house with children smiling in front of it. On top, in uneven handwriting, were the words, "A home for everyone." Lily looked up at him, eyes wide. Lily, it's just like the Hope House. The man nodded slowly, tears shining in his eyes. Old man, yes, maybe it was meant to happen this way. They stood together, looking at the drawing, past and present connected by one small act of kindness. Later that evening, as the sun set behind the half-built shelter, the old man walked a little away, coughing softly. He pressed his hand against his chest, breathing heavily. Lily noticed and ran to him. Lily, worried. Are you okay, sir? He smiled weakly. Old man, I'm fine, little one, just tired. But his eyes told another story. There was something he wasn't saying, something heavy hidden behind his gentle smile. He looked at the rising building, then at Lily. Old man, promise me, if I'm ever gone, you'll take care of the Hope House, keep it full of love. Lily frowned, confused. Lily, gone? Where would you go? He smiled faintly. Old man, somewhere peaceful. But don't worry, I'll always be around. Here. He touched his heart gently. Lily didn't understand then, but she would soon. The camera pans up, showing the half-built Hope House glowing in the sunset light. The wind carries the sound of laughter, Lily's laughter, and the old man's soft chuckle blending with it. The sun rose gently over the city, spilling golden light across the half-finished Hope House. The sound of hammers, drills, and laughter filled the air. Lily stood at the gate, holding a basket full of muffins. Every day after school, she came to the construction site with her mother. She liked giving snacks to the workers and talking to them about the shelter they were building. But most of all, she came to meet Mr. Anderson, the kind old man who had once sat hungry outside a bakery. Mr. Anderson stood near the new foundation wall, wearing a white hat and holding a rolled-up sketch. His steps were slower these days, but his eyes still shined with energy. He looked around proudly. Mr. Anderson, smiling. It's growing. Lily, every brick feels like a piece of hope. Lily placed the basket on a table. Lily, grinning. You sound like a poet, Mr. Anderson. He chuckled softly. Mr. Anderson, maybe kindness makes poets out of all of us. Lily's father joined them, looking at the drawings. Father, we'll be done in 2 more months. You should be proud, Mr. Anderson. I am, but I'm also a little scared. Lily looked up at him. Lily, scared? Why? Mr. Anderson hesitated, then smiled again, that same gentle smile that always hid something behind it. Mr. Anderson, sometimes when dreams come true, it feels too good to be real. Later that day, the sky was painted orange. Lily climbed the half-built staircase, carrying 2 cups of lemonade. She found Mr. Anderson sitting on the edge of the roof, staring at the sunset. Lily, it's beautiful, isn't it? Mr. Anderson, yes. Sunsets remind us that endings can be beautiful too. Lily sat beside him, confused. Lily, you talk like you're going somewhere. Mr. Anderson smiled sadly. Mr. Anderson, everyone goes somewhere someday. What matters is what we leave behind. Lily frowned. Lily, but you'll stay for the opening, right? You promised. He nodded slowly. Mr. Anderson, of course, my little angel. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Still, something in his voice felt uncertain, like he was making a promise he wasn't sure he could keep. A few days later, Lily was sitting in her living room, coloring pictures of the Hope House. When her father walked in with a newspaper, he looked excited. Father, look, Lily. They wrote about us. The headline read, Former homeless man builds shelter for others, inspired by a child's kindness. There was a photo of Mr. Anderson standing beside Lily, smiling proudly. Lily's mother smiled warmly. Mother, the world needs to hear stories like this. Lily grinned from ear to ear. Lily, he's famous now. But later that night, as Lily's father went through the article again, his smile faded. There was a small paragraph at the end that caught his attention. Mr. Anderson, who recently recovered from heart complications, says his health does not matter as long as his dream stands tall. Her father's face tightened with worry. He looked at his wife. Father, quietly, heart problems. He never told us. Mother, maybe he didn't want sympathy. Lily overheard their whispers from the hallway. Her chest tightened. Lily thinking, heart problems? That's why he looked tired. The next week, the city was hit by heavy rain. The construction site flooded with water, and the workers had to stop. Lily begged her parents to visit the site to check on Mr. Anderson, but they told her to wait. Mother, he'll be fine, sweetheart. He probably went home early. But Lily couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The next morning, as soon as the rain stopped, her father drove them to the site. The ground was muddy and the sky still gray. Lily ran inside with her umbrella, calling out, Lily, Mr. Anderson, where are you? There was no answer. Then one of the workers ran toward her father holding something. It was a notebook, Mr. Anderson's sketchbook, wet but still readable. Her father opened it. Inside were the drawings of the Hope House, and a new page added at the end. It was a letter. If anything happens to me before this dream is finished, please complete it. For every child who smiles and every hand that helps, the Hope House must live. Thank you, Lily, my little angel, for saving a man who had forgotten to live. Lily's eyes filled with tears as she read the words over her father's shoulder. Lily, crying softly, No, he can't be gone. Hours later, they found out Mr. Anderson had collapsed near the site during the storm. He had been taken to a nearby hospital. Lily and her parents rushed there immediately. In the hospital room, Mr. Anderson lay on the bed, weak but conscious. Machines beeped beside him. When he saw Lily, he smiled faintly. Mr. Anderson, softly. "You came. I knew you would." Lily ran to him, holding his hand tightly. Lily, tearfully. "Why didn't you tell us you were sick?" Mr. Anderson. "Because I didn't want to be seen as weak. I wanted to finish the shelter. With my own hands." Lily shook her head, tears falling fast. "Lily, you will finish it. You have to." He smiled gently. "Mr. Anderson, if I can't, you will? Promise me that, Lily." She nodded, sobbing. "Lily, I promise." He squeezed her hand. "Mr. Anderson, you know, that sandwich you gave me saved my life. I had lost all hope, but your small kindness gave me strength to live again." Lily's mother wiped her eyes. Her father stood quietly, trying not to cry. Mr. Anderson looked at them both. "Mr. Anderson, take care of her. She has a heart that changes people." Then he turned back to Lily. Mr. Anderson, smiling weakly. "You reminded me of my daughter. Maybe God sent you to finish what she couldn't." Lily hugged his hand, whispering through tears. "Lily, don't leave me, please." He smiled one last time. "Mr. Anderson, I'm not leaving. I'm just going home." The monitor beside him beeped slower and slower, until it stopped. Lily's cries filled the room. Her mother held her tightly as tears streamed down her face. A few days later, the rain had stopped. The construction site stood silent, but the workers returned, ready to continue. Lily stood near the gate, holding Mr. Anderson's notebook to her chest. Her father placed a hand on her shoulder. "Father, we'll finish it, Lily, just like he wanted." Lily nodded, wiping her tears. "Lily, for him, for everyone." As the sun began to set, she opened the notebook again. On the last page was a small drawing, a little girl handing a sandwich to a man. Below it, Mr. Anderson had written, "Kindness builds what money cannot." Lily smiled softly through her tears. Lily whispers, "I'll make sure the Hope House shines for you, Mr. Anderson." The camera pans up, the golden sunlight falling on the half-built shelter, symbolizing that though one life ended, a greater purpose had begun. The sun shone bright over the half-built shelter. The rain had stopped, but the air still smelled of wet soil and concrete. Workers were back at the site, lifting bricks, mixing cement, hammering wood. But something was different today, and the laughter was gone. Everyone moved quietly, still mourning the loss of Mr. Anderson, the man who once had nothing, yet gave everything. Lily stood at the edge of the site, holding his old sketchbook. She looked small in her yellow raincoat, her hair tied back, eyes red from crying. Lily, thinking, "You said we'd finish it together. Now it's just me." She looked up at the gray building skeleton and whispered softly, "Lily, I'll finish it for you. I promise." Days turned into weeks. Lily came to the site every day after school. She carried sandwiches for the workers, the same kind she once shared with Mr. Anderson. Everyone started calling her Little Miss Hope. One of the workers, Joe, a kind man with a deep voice, looked at her one day and said, "Joe, you remind us of him, you know. Always smiling, always helping." Lily, smiling softly. "He said kindness builds what money cannot." Joe nodded, eyes soft. "Joe, that old man changed us all, Lily. Let's make sure we don't forget him." Lily opened the sketchbook and showed Joe a drawing, the last design Mr. Anderson had made before he died. It was a large wall covered in names. At the top he had written, "Wall of kindness for those who gave, for those who care." Lily touched the drawing gently. "Lily, we'll make this wall real. It'll have everyone's name, yours, mine, and his." Joe smiled through watery eyes. "Joe, then let's get to work." But soon another challenge arrived. One evening, Lily's father came home looking worried. He placed a few papers on the table. "Father, we're running out of funds. The charity money isn't enough anymore. The materials cost more than expected." Lily's mother sighed. "Mother, so what happens now?" "Father, if we don't find more donors soon, we'll have to stop construction." Lily's heart sank. "Lily, we can't stop. Mr. Anderson's dream can't die." Her father looked at her helplessly. "Father, I know, sweetheart. But dreams need money, too. That night, Lily couldn't sleep. She sat by her window holding Mr. Anderson's sketchbook, tears rolling down her cheeks. Then an idea came to her mind. She wiped her tears and whispered, "Lily, if people knew his story, maybe they'd help." The next day, Lily asked her teacher for a chance to speak during the school assembly. Hundreds of students gathered in the school hall. The principal called her name. Lily walked up the stage holding the sketchbook in her tiny hands. Her voice trembled at first. "Lily, I want to tell you a story." The hall went silent. "Silly. A long time ago I met a hungry man outside a bakery. I gave him half my sandwich. That man's name was Mr. Anderson. He was homeless. But that small act of kindness changed everything. He decided to build a house, not for himself, but for others who had no home." Her classmates watched quietly, eyes wide. "Lily, we called it the Hope House, but Mr. Anderson isn't here anymore. He's in heaven now. He told me something before he went. He said, 'Kindness builds what money cannot.'" Lily took a deep breath. "Lily, we need help to finish his dream. If anyone wants to donate or volunteer, please come see me after school." For a few seconds there was silence. Then a sound of clapping started. And then more. And soon the whole hall was applauding. Even the teachers had tears in their eyes. Within days, something beautiful happened. Parents, students, teachers, even strangers who read about Lily's speech in the newspaper, came forward to help. Some gave money. Some donated bricks, paint, food. Others came to the site with tools ready to work. The construction site, once quiet, was now full of life again. Children painted signs. Volunteers carried supplies. Lily stood in the middle, her small hands covered in dust, smiling. She could almost hear Mr. Anderson's voice in the wind. "Mr. Anderson." Voice echo. "See, Lily? Kindness always grows." But then, tragedy almost struck again. One evening, as the workers lifted a large wooden beam, the rope holding it snapped. The beam swung dangerously toward Lily. Her father shouted, "Father, Lily! Move!" Before she could react, Joe ran forward and pushed her out of the way. The beam crashed to the ground inches from her. Dust filled the air. Everyone froze. Lily crying, "Joe, are you okay?" He coughed and smiled weakly. Just a scratch, kid. Guess someone up there really wants to protect you." Lily hugged him tightly, shaking. Lily whispers, "Mr. Anderson protected us." "I know he did." The others nodded silently. For the first time, they all truly felt that his spirit was still there, watching, guiding, protecting. Scene. The completion. Months passed. The day finally arrived. The Hope House was finished. The building stood tall and bright, painted in warm colors. The sign above the gate read, "The Hope House, founded by Mr. Anderson and Lily." Inside, the wall of kindness gleamed with hundreds of names written in golden letters. People who had donated, helped, or simply believed. Lily's parents stood beside her as she cut the red ribbon. Cameras flashed, people cheered, but Lily wasn't looking at the crowd. She looked up at the sky. Lily, softly, "We did it, Mr. Anderson." A small white feather floated down from the sky, landing near her feet. She smiled, holding it in her hand. "Lily, I know that's you." That night, the first group of homeless families arrived. Children ran through the hallways, laughing. A mother cried as she saw clean beds and food waiting for them. Lily helped hand out blankets. She watched their faces glow with happiness. Her father knelt beside her. "Father, you see what your kindness started, Lily?" Lily, smiling through tears. "It started with a sandwich." They both laughed softly. As she walked down the hallway, she stopped in front of a framed picture on the wall, Mr. Anderson's photo. Below it was a plaque that read, "In memory of Mr. Thomas Anderson, a man who taught us that even the smallest act of kindness can build a world of hope." Lily touched the frame gently. Lily whispers, "I miss you." A sudden breeze blew through the window. The pages of his old sketchbook fluttered open on a nearby table, stopping at a page that said, "Dreams never die when love keeps them alive." Lily smiled, tears falling again. "Lily," softly, "I'll keep it alive always." Soft music rises, emotional piano and strings. The camera zooms out, showing the Hope House glowing under the night sky, lights shining through every window. Laughter, warmth, and hope filled the air. All because one little girl shared half her sandwich. The camera slowly moves through the same city street where it all began. The bakery still stands at the corner, but now it looks new, bright and full of people. Outside the bakery, there is a large photo frame placed on a small stone pedestal. It reads, "In memory of Thomas Anderson, the man who built hope." A group of children walk by, laughing and holding sandwiches in their hands. Across the street, a young woman, around 18 years old, stops for a moment and looks at the photo. Her eyes soften. It's Lily. She's grown now. Tall, graceful, her hair tied back just like when she was a little girl. Around her neck hangs a small silver locket. Inside it is a tiny piece of paper with the words, "Kindness builds what money cannot." The camera pans to a large, colorful building, the Hope House. It's now a beautiful shelter, home to children, families, and people rebuilding their lives. Flowers line the entrance and laughter fills the air. A big board reads, "The Hope House, where second chances begin." Lily walks through the hallway holding a clipboard. She stops to greet everyone, a young mother feeding her baby, two boys drawing on the floor, an old man fixing a toy car. Lily, smiling. "Morning, everyone." They wave back with smiles. Lily walks into her office in a small room filled with photos and letters. On one wall hangs a picture of Mr. Anderson smiling. Below it is another photo. Lily cutting the red ribbon at the opening ceremony years ago. She sits down, opens a drawer, and takes out Mr. Anderson's old sketchbook. The pages are worn, but every line still carries his dream. Lily, softly, "We did it, Mr. Anderson, it's still alive." That afternoon, Lily was walking through the garden when she saw a little boy sitting alone under a tree. He looked about 8 years old, the same age Lily was when her story began. His clothes were old, his shoes torn. He was holding a small, empty lunchbox. Lily walked over and sat beside him. "Lily, hey there. What's your name?" Boy read it quietly. "Eli." Lily, "Nice to meet you, Eli. Why are you sitting here all alone?" The boy hesitated, eyes looking down. "Eli, I'm just hungry. I came here with my mom, but she's talking to someone about a room." Lily nodded, understanding instantly. She reached into her bag and took out a wrapped sandwich. Lily, smiling, "Here, you can have this." Eli's eyes widened. "Eli, really, but..." "It's your food, Lily. It's okay. I've already eaten." "Go on, take it." The boy slowly took the sandwich, his hands trembling slightly. "Eli, thank you." As he took his first bite, a small smile appeared on his face. Lily watched quietly, her heart full. The moment felt familiar, almost like déjà vu. A light breeze passed through the garden. The wind rustled the trees, and for a second, Lily could almost hear a soft voice whispering in the air. "Mr. Anderson," gentle echo. Kindness always finds its way back. Lily, she looked up at the sky and smiled. That evening, after everyone had eaten dinner, Lily sat in her office again. The boy Eli was now asleep with his mother in one of the rooms. The Hope House lights glowed warmly across the street. As Lily closed the sketchbook, a small folded letter fell out from between the pages. She frowned. She had never seen it before. It was sealed with old tape. Her heart beat faster as she opened it carefully. The handwriting was shaky but familiar. It was Mr. Anderson's. "My dearest Lily, if you are reading this, it means you kept your promise. You finished what I started. I want you to know something I never said aloud. The day you gave me that sandwich, I had decided to end my life. I had no food, no family, no reason to live. But your small act of kindness changed everything. You gave me hope when I had none. Remember, kindness is not measured by what you give, but by the love behind it. One day you will meet someone, maybe a child, maybe a stranger, who feels the same emptiness I once felt. When that day comes, share your sandwich again. Keep hope alive." Tears rolled down Lily's face as she finished reading. She held the letter close to her heart. Lily whispers, "I already did, Mr. Anderson, I already did." A week later, the Hope House celebrated its 10th anniversary. The courtyard was decorated with flowers and lights. Dozens of families gathered, people who had once been homeless but now had new lives. Children played. Music played softly and the smell of fresh bread filled the air. Lily walked to the stage, holding Mr. Anderson's photo in her hands. Lily, 10 years ago, a hungry man sat outside a bakery, and a little girl shared half her sandwich with him. That simple act created everything you see here today. The crowd listened quietly. Some wiped their eyes. Lily, Mr. Anderson taught me that no act of kindness is ever wasted. It travels from one heart to another, like light passing through glass. Today I see that light in all of you. She looked at the families, the workers, and then at Eli, who stood smiling near his mother. Lily, this place isn't just a building. It's proof that love, and even a small one, can change the world. The crowd erupted into applause. Later that night, after everyone left, Lily stood outside the Hope House alone. The stars shone bright and the building behind her glowed with golden light. She sat on the same old bench where she used to sit with Mr. Anderson. She took out the silver locket, opened it, and looked at the words inside again. Kindness builds what money cannot. She smiled softly. Then she took out another small note from her pocket and placed it inside the locket next to the first one. It read, "And kindness never dies." She looked up at the sky one last time. Lily whispers, "I'll keep sharing the sandwich. Mr. Anderson forever." A soft breeze blew again, and the trees rustled gently, as if the heavens themselves were answering her. The camera slowly pulled back, showing the Hope House glowing in the night, surrounded by laughter and peace. One small act of kindness can create ripples that last forever.